Hello, happy Friday. So, thought I would finish off the weekend on a bit of a fun note. So, as you would know, crime thrillers, became very popular during the pandemic. A lot of people love sort of whodunit, or true crime podcasts and Netflix series, right? And one of the reasons is because as humans we have a natural penchant for curiosity, and it often gets the best of us, right? Um, but there has been a recent study at University of Wisconsin and Madison and the University of Toronto, and what they did is they wanted to see if curiosity nudges could change people's real life behaviour for the better. And so basically kind of leveraging our natural penchant for curiosity to see if they can get people to, adopt healthier habits without kind of realising it, right? And they wanted to find out if they could entice people to do things like take the stairs instead of the elevators, or buy more fresh fruit veg. Um, versus what they would typically do, which is maybe use the elevator and eat all the yummy foods. Um, so let's just start off with a bit of a quick background as well, right? So we know about curiosity, but what are kind of like nudges? Well, nudges are, they're essentially small, easy, and cheap changes to an environment that seek to push people's decision making into certain directions. So, like those, I guess the best, is the impulse rack, right, that you get at the supermarket. That's a nudge, right? Um, it's like, oh, we're there. Oh, yep, I could get some mints, or I can get some chocolate, or a little soft drink, or whatever, right? And nudges are kind of used everywhere, right? So things like, getting auto-enrolled, in your company's retirement plan, and setting to opt in. That's kind of a nudge, right? It's already been done for you. It's easier. It's like the least path of resistance, right? Um, there's other things as well, like your energy bill telling you how efficient you are, or how much you use in comparison to similar households, um, and, calorie counts on menus and so on as well. So, so while many, I guess, of these sort of nudges rely on social pressure or guilt to induce change, I guess the researchers from these universities were actually looking for a positive way to gently push people towards making better, healthier choices. So a bit of a flip from the marketing dynamic in terms of that consumerism focus, and more around, well, how can we actually use this for good instead, right? And so curiosity is a bit like hunger, thirst, and fatigue. It can be viewed as a visceral state. It's like a gap we're motivated to fill, a bit like, when we're hungry, right? We want to go eat. So the theory goes you should be able to get people to do something enough that they'll even do something boring, tiring or healthy to satisfy that need, or that curiosity gap, right? And with that, it's interesting, right? So the study, kind of fun, right? They had two experiments. And the scientists actually found that curiosity lures combined, where they basically combined curiosity with a nudge, succeeded in encouraging certain healthy behaviours. So experiment one was basically every day for 4 weeks, the researchers placed a new trivia question near a building's elevator, but then they posted the answer to a nearby stairwell. So people would have to take the stairs to be able to see the answer to the trivia, right? And another stairwell, or the control stairwell and elevator pair, which was also in the same building, displayed a sign about the energy savings of taking the stairs. So it was like, here's a fact, which is, if you think about it, right, like the health and fitness industry is all about educational reasons as to why you should exercise, right? But it's not compelling reason. So the researchers wanted to use something else to kind of nudge people into a different way. And then anyway, so the researchers then counted how many people used the stairwell before and after they started posting the trivia questions, and not surprisingly, the stairwell with the trivia answers saw about a 10% increase in traffic, whereas the other staircase pretty much stayed the same, because no one cares about facts, right? And experiment two is where the fun dad jokes comes in, right? So over 6 weeks, the researchers posted 40 fruit or vegetable related jokes. Who even knew there were 40 dad jokes related about fruit and vegetables? To see if, basically, and then what they did is they put them in the produce section of a grocery store, and they've placed the punchlines at a different place attached to those little plastic clips that keep like the plastic that keep the bread bags closed, right? So you know when you get your little bag and then you have the little clips. I guess we don't really have them in Australia, but you get the point, because you would have seen that with any of the bread rolls and things that you buy. But what they measured then was the sale of the produce items while the jokes were posted, to see if they were higher or lower than the sales the year before. And they also compared the sales of the same produce in different store from, like the control store, from one year to the next as well. And the jokes about produce were things like, you know, they're really silly dad jokes. Things like, why did the beets blush? You know, because it saw the salad dressing. And funnily enough, they actually increased the sale of the items they were actually alluding to. So, for example, you know, people were eager to learn the punchline, and so they ended up buying the beetroots, which happened to be right next to the punchline. And that sort of happened with similar fruit and veg as well. So, I guess the takeaways here are that, you know, there's potentially an option there for you to leverage your natural curiosity to help you form better habits, if that's a goal of yours in 2023. So, like, a simple example of that perhaps could be, you know, if you do like your true crime thrillers, or, you know, the whodunit mysteries and all that sort of stuff, is to actually get then maybe some podcasts or some Netflix that you can do, like while you're on the treadmill or doing some sort of exercise, so that you kind of pair that curiosity with an exercise. So it's like you almost have to exercise for the duration to find out what actually happened in terms of that crime thriller, right? So, yeah, I mean, the other option, I guess, is, I don't know, maybe find all those Christmas crackers or leftover Christmas crackers you had and place them around the house. But the trouble is that you probably won't be able to stop yourself from reading the punchline if that's the case. But yeah, interested to understand. I mean, obviously this is a very new study, but there's potentially more, you know, more to be done in this space. But it's a very interesting kind of idea. But yeah, curious to understand what your ideas would be around how you could kind of leverage, you know, I guess cheesy jokes or something fun to pair with perhaps an exercise habit or eating better, to help you on track with your 2023 goals.